Hey guys, real quick before we start the video, I want to direct you to the community tab on my channel. I am currently running an event for you, the viewers, to rate every single Monster Hunter monster from 1 to 5 stars. This project is going to be a bit of a run back from the 20th anniversary popularity poll and is meant to allow everyone to voice their opinion on every monster, so we can get a big picture look at how the whole community feels about the entire Monster Hunter bestiary. There will be a new poll on the community tab every single day at noon Eastern Standard Time, and all polls will remain live on the channel, so you can answer any of them at any time. You will not miss out if you miss the poll for the day. I will be updating numbers all the way from now until the end of October when the last polls have been run, and in October or November, we're going to have a massive video event where your comments will be read, all the numbers will be crunched, and the monsters will be reordered based on how you all voted. Every vote on every poll matters, and anyone has a chance to have their comment read in the video itself. And if you want to help me get more data and reach the broader Monster Hunter community, I'd appreciate a like on this video and, maybe hit the subscribe button to help this channel grow. It'll put me and this project in front of more eyes. Okay, no more YouTuber CTA shilling. Here's the video you actually clicked on. Thank you. Oh, hey, geez, hello. This wasn't expected. I thought this was going to be happening on, Thursday. Maybe something else is happening on Thursday. We're actually going to be seeing, gameplay, but, yeah, no, this is something. So I've seen this trailer. I was watching the PlayStation thing. I was eating dinner, so I can't pretend that this is a gut reaction, first-time reaction, or whatever, but I'm still gonna get excited over stuff for sure. It's just not the first time I've watched it. So we finally got a release date. We finally got a flagship. We've got some pre-order bonuses and whatnot. Are we getting a better look at our second map? And dude, let's just run it. So kind of the same way we've been doing the weapon breakdowns back in August. Let's just run it once, and I'll make ooh and ah noises over it, and then we'll break down it, and then we'll watch it again full way back. Blah 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 blah. I'm excited. Let's go.
Still hoping that I imagined the whole thing. It's burned into my mind.
Yeah, I thought that was Radau the first time I watched the trailer, but now we're gonna get a better look at him later.
So, Captain, what's your team been getting up to?
The guild gave special assignments to some of the other units from the expedition.
So better look at... I don't think this is the Windward camp, but if there's one in the Scarlet Forest, I'm thinking that might be what this is. Yeah, that dude just talked about it, the forest. Alright, so we kind of called this. This was obvious. Big downpour and flooding during the Scarlet Forest. And just look at, holy crap. Alright, so we're going to get a good look at this bad boy.
This is its territory. We're intruders.
Crazy how huge that thing is. Look at that. Look at him go. That's so sick. It's not even an elder. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. Anybody talking about the colors sucking in this game? No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. It's got some old ruins and stuff. I'm hoping that's interactable. That's cute. It's getting more Linian species. And look at this dude!
Why don't they just put the meat down?
It's an early game chicken brute wyvern. What the hell? Oh, I like this game a lot. Alright. Now we get to this guy.
That's it. The White Wraith. It's real.
Is that what we're after? The White Wraith.
Look at that shot. Got airships coming back and all that cool stuff.
What is that thing? An extinct species.
Alright, so we got a
You're a hunter.
whipwing wyvern.
You've got a weapon, and you do nothing. Give it to me, and I'll...
Yeah, it's crazy looking. Going with some dramatics in the story with that kid probably losing the family and everything. Cool. Trying to make the story a little bit more dramatic and a little bit more personal. Alright, February 28th is when we're getting it. Austin was 2 days off. That's not bad, though. So you got Guild Knight is going to be the pre-order layered set, which is cool. And a whole bunch of other stuff in the deluxe, which we can talk about later. Neat. Okay, cool. Alrighty, let's go slow, yeah? That's a cool trailer, man. That might be one of the best ones they've put out there. It's got some story beats, it's got some camp in there, it's got 3 monsters in there. Still nothing returning yet. It's crazy. I wonder if they're gonna do like the big, here's the returning ensemble trailer. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, no, they're kind of keeping it to just the new stuff so far. This is probably the most new stuff we've had in a trailer. Okay, yeah, so this is another base camp, definitely not the Windward one, built into the... So I heard that we're gonna have different camps and like whatnot in different settlements to kind of correspond with the different maps because of the seamlessness of the maps. So it's looking like this is a different base of operations set up within the Scarlet Forest. There's even a character that talks about like, oh man, this forest is amazing. But yeah, no, this clearly does not look like the Windward Plains. So we're in this built down into this like cave area, probably like sequestered away from everything else. It's got like very kind of like a very similar kind of caravan-y type of setup, roughshod feel to the one we've seen for Windward. So it's probably like the same group of people in the same tents and everything, all traveling around and whatnot. We still got those Murnos up there too. Get your wing drake buddies up there, which is cool.
So, Captain, what's your team been getting up to?
The guild gave special assignments to some of the other units from the expedition, mine included.
This forest is amazing.
Yeah, alright, so Scarlet Forest. So different base camps, different locations. That's kind of nutty. Whether or not we're getting like full-on different villages and whatnot, not sure. But yeah, no, different camps, different hubs and whatnot. Now we're getting a good look at kind of like an overgrown canopy type of look of the Scarlet Forest when it's all foggy and cloudy. And kind of like the ancient forest proper, you know, we're up running around. It's not just like one giant big tree anymore, but a lot of like overhanging canopies and big tangled up pathways of vines and whatnot to run around on, which is cool. You know, they were talking about the fact that the 3-dimensional map was kind of built for the ancient forest, so I was really hoping that with our swampy, jungly map, we would have this kind of 3-dimensional stuff to actually kind of capitalize on that vision. And here we go. So we're going to be running around up in here, presuming that there's going to be probably some kind of like treetop flying wyverns or bird wyverns up here, something like that, because we still don't really seem to have anything super duper low level in terms of power for this zone. So we're running around up here. Yeah, no, and then just torrential downpours coming down, which was an easy call. It's a very super rainforesty type of stuff. The big attraction of the Scarlet Forest was like bodies of water with red in them. So like a flood in the forest was very easy to kind of determine was what we were going to be doing here. But the execution looks great. So who really cares if it's predictable? So we have these kind of like herbivore looking guys we've seen out in the Windward Plains seem to be back in and around here. Now we got these new looking dudes, these big like spiky back dorsal fin fish looking guys down here. These guys look sick. I'm loving like the small monsters and the endemic life in this game. They look great. These by themselves look really, really fun to just hang out and watch and interact with, let alone like the bosses. Speaking of bosses, this thing. All right. Don't have the name yet. Well, I have the name. I just forgot the name. It'll take me a second to memorize names. This thing is like really beautiful and really ugly and really cool and really terrifying all at the same time, and it's kind of nuts. Look at that. We've been talking about it a lot with like the big spooky scary like really kind of tenacious angry monstery looking monsters that this game has to offer, especially with like Balahara and Doshiguma. We're like right back up in that with this dude, because like holy cow, that's intimidating. Like that's scary. I would probably die of a heart attack if I saw this in real life. Look at that. Like the color, like the yellow with the reds on the black, and like the big, like the awesome looking dead fish eyes, the mouthful of teeth and everything. Look at this thing. Oh, and then you zoom out, you get all the fins and everything, and that, like, really awesome array of colors, and the rainbow patterns on, like, the wings, fin things and everything is all, like, big and chunky and fat, but also, like, scary and... Oh, dude, it's huge! Look at the size of that thing! It's not even elder. Alright, so we've been talking about this a lot. This is the most massive monster we've seen so far. We've been talking about stuff like a Cantor, stuff like a Gammoth, stuff like a Yukonlos, and like kind of that tier of size of monster on some of these maps because of the size being allowed. She's definitely not quite as tall as, say, a Gammoth, but like she's about as like wide. We're kind of getting on par with certain dimensions here. Look, that's huge! That's gigantic! Especially, like, fully extended. Let me bump the volume back up. Especially because I'm not, like, talking over the volume all that much. That's enormous. And that's not an Elder Dragon, and that's on a normal map. That fin wingspan is probably one of, like, the single largest... on a normal map monster sizes that we've had. That wingspan is like, that's gotta be around as long as like a Gravios or a Durambros. It's like, it's up there at least. So I've been saying it, big monsters. I think we're going there. I think that's what I'm looking at. So it's going to be a big, heavy, slugger slamming type of monster. Pretty sure this is the regional apex here too. Alright, so this is something interesting. I'm wondering if this might be an attack that is done outside of the invisible walls of the map, because if you can see, like, this really nice little convenient line of sticks and rocks that's going in just like a straight line, and then you have this giant monster doing, like, the big dives and whatnot. I'm wondering if this is something like a special attack they have her do where she goes outside of the map where you can go and starts attacking with the waves and whatnot. For something like that to be able to do this, it's probably like way too deep for you to be walking around in. So I'm wondering if they're using kind of like an invisible wall to let her do a really cool ultimate attack like this, which is a creative use of a mechanic like that. Kind of remedies some of the frustrations that the walls of non-underwater combat would impose on stuff like Plesioth in the original game. So that I'm kind of wondering, does Plesioth go out there and like fire the water beams off from like over there and he can swim around from there? If that's the case, it's kind of set up for it. But what also makes me really happy is it looks like we're getting these kind of like shallow water duels back where we can have these aquatic opponents kind of swimming around and being able to do that kind of stuff, but still be in an area where you, the hunter, can run around even without being able to swim. So let's watch this. Yeah, that's crazy. You get into the sacred, you gotta run from the tidal wave that this thing conjures up. That's tough. Alright, so now we get a better look and just like the scene transition, dude. Look how damn beautiful this map is. Holy cow. We're not seeing a lot of the scarlet of the Scarlet Forest, though. This is very blue. I'm starting to... There's gotta be some sections of the map that are extremely red. Because, like, it's a little false advertising. Looks like we got some kind of new wing drake going up over there. I think we get another shot of him later. And yeah, we have Doshiguma will start to kind of wander around in here. Looks like there's some carnivorous plants in and around where he is, which is kind of cool. Wonder if we'll see like those eating insects and stuff like that. Yeah, there we go. So this looks like some kind of new wing drake. Very cool looking design with like the blues and the dark blues and the scale patterns and whatnot. A little feathery off of the tail. That's a really good design for him. I always like the wing drakes conceptually. They don't do much, but they're charming. Looks like the fishing minigame. It's a lot more dramatic than it used to be. Also, dude, just like the water is so gorgeous. Alright, so we're scaling up and around here. It sounds like we're getting like some ambient backing track for this map too. Austin and I have talked about this a lot. We want like buildings and temples and stuff. So this looks like us like scaling up the side of a waterfall and some vines on the sacred, and you got some like runes on your kind of like bottom left corner right there. We'll get another shot at some kind of structure, I think in like the next shot. Yeah, dude. Oh, there's a whole, look at like the backdrop and everything, man. Okay, so I think there's a lot we can take away from this. So, looking at where, like, the hunters are, they're kind of in, like, the shallow water fight. So, like I was saying, shallow water's back. But you have kind of, like, snaking up from the bottom right and then kind of going up into, like, the middle here and snaking around. You have that shelf where there's a clear drop-off between the deep water and the shallow water. And it's kind of, the way is kind of very lightly barred with bits of debris and rocks and little chunks and bits of logs and whatnot. So, I think these are probably going to be, like, waterways to kind of create invisible walls, but they're probably also going to be passageways for aquatic monsters that they can come in, flop up under the water sections here and fight you here. This is a really cool little section in particular with the boulders and the big bones. And dude, that backdrop, man, I would love it for the map to be that backdrop. All those like big like rocky temples and whatnot. I mean, we got the one like right in front of us. Man, I'd like to go in that and fight around it and whatnot. I've always wanted to. You know, I did that video talking about like maps I wanted to brought back. I've always loved the tower concept. I'd love for them to kind of bring it back. But this is another cool thing of having like old civilizations and big ancient ruins and stuff like that. It's very, very classical fantasy, but it's always just wicked sick. Hopefully it's something that can be explored. So a little bit of gameplay, you got to paralyze Lalabarina, and you throw the barrel bombs. The thrown barrel bombs are a really cool feature. And then, so we're bringing back, like, the environmental destruction trap things. This one seems enormously easier to trigger, because usually you need to, like, throw a monster into something. This one can just be plopped with the hook slinger. But the size of this drop as well is crazy. Yeah, just, holy cow. Alright, so we're getting some, like, local lineage tribes. So this was a big thing in World. You could go around and, like, earn the respect of a whole bunch of tribes and whatnot and get benefits from them. So not only does that look like it's back, at least in the Scarlet Forest, but it seems like they're gonna be a little bit more of their own characters. You know, word's out on whether or not this is gonna be quite as mechanically ingrained into the game as it is with World. You know, we haven't seen anything like that, per se, in the Windward Plains, but this is a cool little thing. And it seems like these are kind of the more primate looking as opposed to, usually we see like the more feline ones. I like these little gremlin guys with their mushroom hats and whatnot. These are cool. The only ones we really see the face of are usually the other feline lineans. So seeing like a kind of like the full face of a different kind of them is something pretty new. I like it. So they have their own little village area. This is cool. It's probably going to be like an in-between story place that you can go to and come back to. So this is probably like built into one of those temple ruins we saw a little while ago. They have their own little culture going on in here and whatnot. So now we got a whole bunch of cats. Really, we got I feel like they do this every monster in a game, is you have a whole bunch of cats out just trying to do cat things. And then you got a monster trying to attack them and being mean to them. This is very, very standard Monster Hunter. But this introduces us to monster number 2, which is a brute wyvern chicken. Who the hell had that on their bingo card? We got our guy going in there.
Just put the meat down.
This is probably very early game because they're putting a comedic beat on it. Bonk. Good look at the chicken guy. It's a brute wyvern fire chicken. I love this game. I love Monster Hunter so much, man. Who would have guessed this? And I saw someone make a point about this in my community Discord, but we're still getting like new monsters for the Windward Plains, which is kind of interesting because we've been around here for a good long while, seen a lot of stuff. We got Dosha and Chata and Raydao and Bala and whatnot, and it's probably looking like our White Wraith is here too. And now we got the Chicken Man on this one, so that's what, like 6? And Rathalos is probably going to be on here. If Rathalos is on here, that means like Rathian is on here. So just count on my fingers. If that's all true, that's like 8 monsters on the Windward Plains, which is a pretty decent sign for your roster, especially if there is a decent chunk of returning monsters on the roster here. If we're already at like 6 originals, 2 potential returnings, the roster, this I think this bodes well that we're still getting brand new monsters that seem to be Windward Plains guys. I think this is a pretty good sign for our roster size. But we'll see the fire chicken in action. So we got this thing back. I think we already knew about that. Alright, so now we're getting like the flagship and the story beat. What the heck is he fighting? What is he fighting? That's not our Leviathan, is it? It could be the Leviathan, but I don't see all the fins. Yeah, it might be her. But she also seems like way bigger than this guy. Hard to say, because I don't see the fins and this looks a little too small.
That's it. The White Wraith. It's real!
Better shot at the body.
Is that what we're after?
This is probably its theme playing, which sounds pretty damn good. Cool scenic shot with the airship going. Kind of like a flashback.
Someone's in trouble.
It seems we must do a more thorough investigation.
What is that?
Yeah, so now, he's not that big. It's like Radau looks bigger than him. He's like dangerous, but not huge.
An extinct species.
You're a hunter. You've got a weapon, and you do nothing.
Yeah, like that's way too big. I don't know, we'll figure it out. That's her clash, by the way. That's pretty sick. Then it's a little bit more Radau.
Give it to me, and I'll...
Yeah, look at that freaky looking thing. Alright, so we got whip wyverns back, huh? We'll talk about this a little bit more when we go over to the website, but this is a frontier thing. So it ends here. I'm imagining the next trailer that we get is probably going to have our title update information. I was kind of wondering if we were going to get it at the end of this trailer, but it's mostly just like the pre-order stuff and the release date. Speaking of... Alright, yeah, so that's a good look at the face. It's crazy. Holy cow. Alrighty, February 28th, 2025. That's not bad. Guys and I were saying probably March. I was saying a little while ago that if we didn't get a release date this week from marketing, then that means we probably weren't going to get this game until like Q2 of next year. But right kind of smack in the middle of Q1's not bad. You know, it's not January, which actually isn't too bad for me because we have like the streaming plans and whatnot that we want to get through. But yeah, no, it's also not next summer. You know, it's just kind of like the middle of winter. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not too painful. It's nice to finally have a date. Really good bit of splash art for this too. I'm wondering if this is gonna be our cover art because it's got the flagship on it. It's like a big, crazy looking promo image. I don't think they have confirmed what exactly the cover art is gonna be. Yeah, so this is almost certainly our flagship. You know, there was mention of the White Wraith, and it's got like this whole crazy title, and it's got a backstory with one of the main characters. So this is definitely our guy. I'm presuming Flying Wyvern over Elder Dragon. Could maybe be either. It's a little Magali. We'll take another look at him in a bit. It's crazy looking. So the Guild Knight is your layered armor. It's going to come with a talisman off of the pre-order. It's a good pick for the pre-order layered armor. Okay, so let's see what we can discern from the Premium Deluxe Edition. So you get the base game, you get a deluxe pack, premium bonuses. So you get Wyverian ears off of that. That's kind of neat. Stuff with a background, a pose, and a nameplate. So that's all gonna be, like guild card stuff. Bottom right, music track, Proof of a Hero 2025 recording. That implies to me some degree of music customization and room customization, is that you have an unlockable track. We still haven't heard the proof of a hero for this game yet. So we got some makeup and face paint. We got pendants coming back. We got stickers coming back. Oh, that's perfect for myself and my friends. Gestures, hairstyles, Palico layered armor. That kind of like Samurai Knight layered armor looks pretty sick. And then sacred decoration. So yeah, sacred customization. People have been talking about it for a little while, whether or not they're going to get it. Seems like it's an absolute lock in that department. Not even just with like color matching and stuff like that, but even it doesn't look so much like they have different armor perhaps, but more so just like different stuff you can put on them. So that one up top has like this big poofy hairstyle on it and a lot of red with it. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's going to be our cover art right there. Is going to be our picture on the left. I don't know why I'm going right to left with this, but whatever. And then you get cosmetic packs for free with the super duper alley-ooper premium stuff. And then if you pre-order off of PlayStation, yeah, the deluxe and the premium deluxe. So the premium deluxe seems to have some decent stuff with it. To be released at a later date. So is there some stuff with there that they didn't show off for some reason? That's interesting. So then you got that. Yeah, and then this isn't on here, but it's on the PlayStation trailer. But if you pre-order via PlayStation, you get a digital art book, which is kind of tough. They haven't shown off any kind of like collector's edition yet. I'm gonna kind of assume that there probably will be, and that will likely come with like a physical edition of the art book, probably. But yeah, I'd be willing to bet that we're gonna get a collector's edition at some point. So interesting. No idea if we're gonna get a trailer on Thursday with TGS. I think that's kind of what we assumed was gonna happen. It wouldn't be the first time that Monster Hunter Wilds has done a couple of trailers in very rapid succession, but you know, I'm banking on it a lot less now. This might be our trailer, because we know that we're getting a stream for gameplay in the Scarlet Forest. You know, they didn't necessarily promise a trailer, so it might just be the stream, but who knows? Maybe we'll get something new there as well. That is for Thursday to decide. Before we run the trailer back one more time, let's look at some of the new stuff on the website. All right, so we're starting off with our flagship, Arkveld. And Arkveld's a tough name. Still, jury's kind of still out on monster classification. It's not impossible that it's an Elder Dragon, but it's built more like, I don't know. It's kind of built a little bit like a pseudo-wyvern, and it's built a little bit like an Elder Dragon. This is an odd shape. It's a bit Magala-y, but it doesn't have like the 6 limbs, but it has like the wicked powerful. I think it's a pseudo-wyvern, because you have like the wings, like the feathers coming up off of the wings, and then you have the whip appendages coming off of those. He's very bulky. It's like there's a little bit of it's like a little bit of Tigrex frame. There's a little bit of like Magala frame, and you know the whips are interesting. Because if you know your frontier, which I'd assume you do if you're subbed to this channel, you know of Berukiros, Doragiros, and Xenacerisu, which are all Frontier originals. They are true flying wyverns that have these whip wing appendages coming off of like the middle segment. It is a different placement, but it's a similar idea. So they're kind of messing around and noodling around with the whip appendages off of the winged monsters. I don't know if that means we're gonna get other whipwing wyverns in this game, but they got the animations, the technology, so that could be something kind of neat if we ever saw those guys in mainline again. It's a little bit more precedent for them now. This is obviously a very different structure. Instead of it being kind of like in the center of the wing membrane, it's coming off of the toes. So this is just a very oddly shaped animal. Big, massive, heavy forelimbs, really thick, powerful hind limbs, stocky tail, bulky neck, kind of smallish head. Doesn't really seem to have wing membranes, but it have these furry, feathery structures coming off of the wings, and then the whips. Like, they're such a oddly constructed animal, but I really like it. The head shape is great. This one, it's like a little basil-y with a really thick heavy neck, small mouth filled up with the razor sharp teeth, like big horn tusk things coming off of the side of the head. Really good color scheme with like the whites and the grays, with like these little twinges of kind of like violet in there. Unique chain-like appendages extending from its wings. A species long thought to have been extinct. Its ecology remains shrouded in mystery. So those are some interesting little details. Thought extinct, not much known about the ecology. So I wonder why. I don't know if they're gonna really kind of do anything with it, but like, what's the point of making him thought extinct? You gonna do anything interesting with that? Hopefully. But that's kind of an interesting premise. It's like, oh, we thought this animal was dead. Curious. I wonder if they do anything with that. Uth-Duna. Uth-Duna. I'm gonna say Uth. A leviathan that rules the Scarlet Forest as its apex predator. It is adapted to water-rich environments and is sighted most often during the downpour. The downpour is like the sand tide equivalent for the Scarlet Forest. Fitting name. Use of the moisture and its own bodily fluids creates a protective veil around itself. Alright, so that's pretty standard for a lot of aquatic monsters that come up on ground, is they kind of coat themselves in like a thin layer of mucus, which allows them to move around and whatnot. It's pretty standard stuff. Yeah, finally getting a good look at this. It's cool, and it's beautiful, and it's chunky, and it's badass, and it's like ugly. It's a crazy looking animal. It's kind of whale-like in like the mass. It's also kind of dinosaurian, kind of fish-like. Yeah, no, it's very kind of like chunky and big, but it's also going for kind of like a beautiful angle with it too. It's just it's a lot of stuff for an animal. Really crazy, but I dig it. A lot you can do with aquatic animals. You're less impressive, so you get a different section, but we have Quematrice, I'm gonna say, or Quematrice, Q-U-E is kind of like the Spanish K. Then matrice, like cockatrice, which is a little on the nose with the naming, because cockatrice is actual real life I say real life, but in real life mythological animal is the cockatrice. So the Quematrice. Gonna be a lot of ways to pronounce this potentially, but Quematrice. Brute wyverns with disproportionately long tails. They spread a flammable substance, then ignite it by dragging their tails along the ground. They can be often seen fighting with other smaller carnivores over carrion. So it's a chicken dinosaur that spreads a flammable fluid around with its giant tail, and it picks fights with other smaller animals. So presumably a relatively early game monster. Yeah, no, I mean, we're 9 months removed from the original trailer, and we're still getting information about, like, smaller game predators on the first map. Like I said, I think that bodes pretty well for the size of this roster, that we're seeing Quematrice now. Because we're still getting stuff like this. That's really cool. Really excellent look with the scale textures on this. I think that looks good. Again, another bout of just very, very solid colors. I call him a chicken. He's definitely a little bit more brute wyvern-y, but like you have the kind of rooster bit coming up off of the back, and like the big plumagey tail is like, it's kind of like a lot of, it's definitely a little bit more dinosaur when you look at him, but I think they've blended in some inspirations from roosters and birds. That's interesting. Because, like, you know, the dinosaurs turned into birds. And this one is still, like, the big kind of, like, scaly, kind of, like, typical, kind of more, like, Hollywoody dinosaur. But they've more so kind of built in these bird elements into the design. That's kind of creative. They've made a rooster into a theropod dinosaur. Minus the beak, right? That's kind of like the only thing. But yeah, no, they took a rooster and turned it into a theropod dinosaur. And our birds come from dinosaurs. I really like this. Actually. So Quematrice, Uth-Duna, and Arkveld. A lot of cool names. Arkveld, Uth-Duna, Lalabrina, Reidau, Balahara, Quematrice, Dojaguma, Chatakabra. A lot of, like, really strong syllable names in this game. I like it. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure what to make of you in terms of classification. You're crazy. Let me see if there's anything else I should look at. Alrighty, following the river along the Winter Plains leads you to a verdant scarlet forest with its towering trees and abundant water. Take your first steps here in your journey. Your eyes are drawn to the peculiar bull-red colored waterfront of the forest floor. This land experiences an inclemency known as the downpour, torrential rainstorm that floods the surrounding area. The flowers going, the red water kind of turns gray in the downpour, turns blue in the plenty. Big waterfalls, huge, kind of spooky looking trees too. And then we know that Uthduna and Lalabarina are here. It looks like our White Wraith goes here. We know that Dosha goes here. And we got these guys. So the Woodwood Hideout. So is this our kind of resident village for this area? Linean tribe called the Woodwoods. Inhabitants of the Scarlet Forest. Tucked away deep in the forest is the Woodwood Hideout, where the creatures reside. I like these guys. I like their outfits. I like their mushrooms and like their mushroom hats, and they're just cool little designs. I like, these guys are charming. I like these guys a lot. The Hunters unit and other major characters. Palico, Alma, Gemma, Nata. Fabius, leader of the Hunters Guild, established the Forbidden Lands Research Commission after discovering Nata. Took charge of forming each expedition unit, a former hunter distinguished among the guild. I could still, there's a lot of people who are asking if this was the Ace Lancer. It's certainly not out of the question. Former hunter, Astrum unit. So Olivia, we've met Olivia and her cat Athos. Eric. So this is, I like the woods guy. So this is Olivia's handler, presumably. Biologist renowned throughout academia. Neat. Werner, physics and engineering specialist, and a leading mind in weapon technology. Okay. Okay, let's run the trailer one more time.
I was still hoping that I imagined the whole thing. It's burned into my mind.
So, Captain, what's your team been getting up to?
The Guild gave special assignments to some of the other units from the expedition, mine included.
This forest is amazing.
My fur isn't built for this kind of weather.
That's causing the water currents to surge too.
This is its territory. We're intruders.
Probably the apex theme for the Scarlet Forest with this one. Yeah, look how she moves. Holy crap, it's crazy. Gorgeous map, dude. Just like tons of like little animals. I can't wait to just watch do things, man. Pretty sure that's an alpha dosha that we were seeing here.
Ours. You respect.
Why don't they just put the meat down?
Is it Firetail Chicken Brew, whatever. What a game. What a game. Alright, let me see how you, like, move around and do things.
That's it. The White Wraith. It's real.
Bigger wings than the picture made it look like.
The White Wraith.
Down there.
It's a cool theme.
Trouble.
It seems we must do a more thorough investigation.
What is that thing? An extinct species.
It's kind of pseudo-wyverny.
You've got a weapon, and you do nothing. Give it to me, and I'll...
Species.
You're a hunter. You've got a weapon, and you do nothing.
Is that the Balahara hunting horn? That looks pretty good. Simple, though. Yeah, look at that freaky looking thing. crazy. Yeah, damn dog, that's cool. Alrighty. Yeah, alright, so that's the reaction and breakdown to Monster Hunter Wilds trailer number 4. The release dates and the White Wraith and all that goodness. It's coming up, boys. We're getting there. Not too much longer. Still a couple of months, though. But, yeah. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for tagging along, for, going through this breakdown for me. Let me know down below what you think and all that blah 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 blah. And this has been CR-Volcanic or Connor. I'll see you around. Bye. Shout out to all the patrons, and special shout out to Stromlin, Sir Wafty, Sir Newt Newt, Shaggy Grizzly, Peaberry, Nihilist Chimerax, Datboy Doinderding, Kets, I Think I Stole Your Sandwich, and Call Sign Shadow. Thank you very much, everyone.